What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I actually just did this entire stream, but I didn't hit go live on YouTube, so I think it didn't actually stream, but we'll go again. 15-minute segments. I'm here. Let me set my little timer up just to give you a visual image. Sitting here at a desk by myself. I got a microphone in front of me. To my left, I got a little bit of a blue Yamaha mixer. I have a pint glass of water that just ran out. Bag of cookies. It's 11:24 p.m. Um, every night I've been doing these little 15-minute segments because I figure how hard is it to just sit here and talk for 15 minutes. And I'm trying to come up with different topics. If you have any ideas about what you want me to talk about, write it in the comments. But I did just publish a book on Amazon. It's linked in the description of my live stream or whatever. Bear with me here because I'm new at live streaming, so I'm like trying to figure out exactly how everything works the best. And I did change my settings so that the video is slower because I'm just doing audio only, but I'm using OBS. But we can hop right into it, and it's probably good that I did a little test run of this live stream before I'm hitting the airwaves now, just to warm myself up a little bit. But before I start the timer, I got to get another. I'm gonna put the timer on pause. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. So bear with me, and then while I get the water, why don't I put some music on for you? Let me see. I should have something I can put on. Yeah, what about this? Here's some music that I recorded. If you want to check it out while we wait. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and we can put the timer back on for the 15 minutes. Just find that on my computer. All right, here we go. Talking about writing, book writing. I'm going to fast forward this story a little bit to give you a little bit of background, but basically, so how did I come to be able to publish on Amazon? I'm going to fast forward through my very early experience writing, but basically, as a kid, you read so many books in school that you read something that's pretty cool, and then you say to yourself, like, wow, I'd love to be an author one day. There's some book out there, if anyone knows what it is, it's about a kid who's like disaffected, and he owns a gray cat, and it's like him and his mother. It's like a single mother, and it's like always raining out. And this book is weird. I read it in probably fourth grade as like assigned reading, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm always thinking about what the hell was the name of this book because it definitely had an effect on me because I'd never considered a young man owning a cat as a pet. And then like this depiction of this character, he was like melancholic kid who owned a cat. I don't know, it was weird, but it's a memorable book for me. And then obviously Harry Potter was memorable. And by the time I hit sixth grade, I tried to create my own Harry Potter ripoff, and I wrote about 7 pages of loose leaf out, which is a pretty big accomplishment for a sixth grader in my first attempt at a book. And my version was like Ali Baba, who's trying to get the Emerald Stone. So it was like a Middle Eastern Harry Potter ripoff. That was my first ever attempt at a book. It's pretty funny. But so I made that in sixth grade and I passed it around, and some people in the class read it. I remember like some girl in the class like signed their front. She's like, "Oh my god, I love this story." Then fast forward through high school, I always enjoyed the art of reading and writing through high school. Towards the end of it, I think I scored a 4 on the 2 different AP English exams. Not quite a 5, but still pretty good. And then basically, at the end of high school, going into college, I had to choose a college major, and I was looking at Forbes for highest earning majors because I wanted to get some sort of return on investment for all the money that was going into college. So I decided to choose math and music and totally throw writing by the wayside. So that was 4 years of no writing, no reading. I always tell people, if you want to choose a major that's easy in a way, choose math, because you don't have to read anything or write any essays ever. Now after college, I got a job. Well, I played music for a couple years, then I got a job working in IT. So that was another 7 years. So 11 years straight of no reading, no writing. I didn't own any books that weren't like math or computer books. Hadn't read a book. I was like, I basically, after 11 years, I was basically like down to zero, like borderline illiterate, like couldn't even string a sentence together. I ended up leaving the IT field and then decided to try my hand at writing once again. And basically, I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't own any books, hadn't read a book in so long. I had no idea like what I should do. So I read and outlined 2 Michael Crichton books, Andromeda Strain and Sphere, and I wrote the outlines by hand. And the outlines basically I probably have them somewhere. Basically consisted of like, let me see if I look on my computer if I could find it, because I can put it up on the screen maybe. I don't know if I still have them. They were on not Bitbucket. What's that upload? Some FTP upload site where one of them got a bunch of downloads. Got like 500 downloads, probably from college kids who had to do an essay on it. But the outlines basically like put in comments about like how I thought the writing was put together. So I'm like diagramming books, trying to figure out how to write my own book. Then this is way back in, this is 10 years ago. So I'm just starting to try to write and read again. I way too early on attempted a book, which was called TC35. I finished the book, but the book was horrendous. So I'm like, it's kind of like a fool's errand where it's like I thought I was good enough to just write a book off rip after taking an 11-year hiatus from the craft, but the fact is like no, it was terrible. Then I went back to Barnes and Noble again and bought more books. I think I bought like 3 in a day. I read S.E. Hinton. That was then. This is now. I got a David Sedaris book, Barrel Fever, and I got a collection of Hemingway short stories. So that, I mean, before then, the Michael Crichton's writing is not good. And I also read like Roald Dahl book that I reread after I read it when I was a kid. and his autobiography, which is pretty good. Boy and Going Solo. Roald Dahl was a fighter pilot, and then I guess when he was college age or just graduating from college, he like went on a cruise ship to go work in Africa. So that his autobiography is pretty interesting actually. So I read that, and then the practice of journaling is where it really I saw myself starting to improve, and that started all the way in 2017, so 8 years ago. And the reason why the journaling works is, and this is how you do it. You get a folder on your computer that you just call like journals. Then you make another a subfolder called 2025. Then in the 2025 you make text files that say like whatever today is, November 22nd. Then in the November 22nd text file you just write whatever happened or your thoughts or whatever. So I've been doing that since 2017, and I probably do about, I mean, I can look at it right now. So if I look at, let's see, I mean, some of the journals are pretty harsh, but 2023, how many did I write? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Last year, I wrote 4. This year, I've written 5. 2020, I wrote 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 11. So it's more like it's a good way to get your thoughts out onto paper, and also it's just practice of the medium of writing, and that's the trick to it all. So after journaling for 8 years, I also started reading quite a bit. 2017, reading more than I was. So reading and journaling is the key, in my opinion. And after 8 years of it, there's 2 different books that I read where after I finished reading them, I go, if this is all it takes, I think I got it. And one of those books was Lethal White by, or was it White Lethal? No, Lethal White by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. And it's like a crime novel. But after I read it, I go, J.K. Rowling, if this is all it takes to write a book, I mean, like the sentences were just like run-on sentences. I don't know. It just, and I think the quality was good. It's better than some self-published trash that I've read, but it still wasn't that good. So after I read that, I go like, nah, I'm good. I'm as good as this. Another inspiration to me was reading a book by David Icke called The Dream. And David Icke is like a conspiracy theorist, and if you read his book, it's pretty much like stream of consciousness the way he writes it. But he just writes all his thoughts down. He doesn't worry about if he repeats himself too much or anything. He's just trying to get like words onto the page and fill it out and make it, as good as he can. So both of those books, Lethal White and The Dream, after reading them, I'm like, I think I got this. In combination with 8 years straight of journaling. And then another trick that I've used is I've copied an entire book by hand into a notebook, which was the book Rumblefish, which is a pretty short, like, young adult book by S.E. Hinton. So I copied Rumblefish fully by hand into a marble notebook, and then what I would do is I would see how long my own handwriting extended the chapters. So like chapter 1, spanned across whatever 8 pages of a marble notebook. Then I would stop and I would write my own chapter of my own book right after that for the exact same span. So 8 pages of my own book. So I did that for Rumblefish. And that's how I wrote my book on Amazon, Handsome Death. And you can check out the most recent book I've put out, Soccer American Style, Journey to the NCAA. It's linked in the description. It's also available on Amazon for purchase. I put it at $15. It's a biography about my soccer career. It's pretty easy to write your own biography, but I did a lot of these books. I'll try and write them like once. I won't finish it first go. And then I'll revisit it years later and I'll have a better idea of how to go about finishing it in the right way. And something I've realized is that a lot of times the mistakes that I was making early on was that I was trying to like express every last thought onto the page. But what I've noticed is that leaving stuff out and letting the reader figure out what you're trying to say is more effective in a way. It makes it more interesting to read. Also, like, the reader might question a little bit what exactly you're talking about, and you can kind of like, I don't know, you can express more when you leave out certain thoughts, or you don't give everything away. You just kind of like describe around the point you're trying to make in a way. And also, I got a minute left on my clock here. Something I want to discuss is this whole idea of like creating your own system of phrases. And a good example is comedy. They say it's a callback. So you like introduce a topic and then you like make a joke that references that prior topic. And this is useful in writing too. If you create your own little system of phrases, or like shorthand, you could say. Just give me a second here. You create your own shorthand, and then what happens is when you do a callback, or you like use the same phraseology, more than once, you do it in different contexts within the, idea that you're putting across. So you're able to like create a impact that way. So if you have a whole system, so if you think about that example in like the linear sense, like whatever the phrase is, hold on a second, this is about to run out. And there it goes. But I'll wrap up on this. If you think about like a really simple example, like right now I'm sitting here in a chair, there's a bag of cookies in front of my keyboard. So it's like, oh man, I could think of the sentence like, man, today was really hard. I'm really looking forward to this bag of cookies. Then, whatever, like 2 chapters down the line, I can say something about cookies again. And then that's like a linear version of it. I can even use bag of cookies again. But what I'm saying is like, that's one example. But if you create a system where it's like compounds and becomes more complex, like levels of complexity. So like bag of cookies is just one component of a whole system that works together. You create your own world basically, and that's kind of like one of the keys, and something that took me whatever, I guess 8 years or 9 years of practice until I was able to feel comfortable with my own abilities and self-publishing a book. But anyway, you can check out my book, Soccer American Style Journey to the NCAA. It's the story of my own soccer career. It was pretty easy to write. I've never really written a biographical text of such length. It's 131 pages. I wrote it using WordPad, free software, no spell check until afterwards, no interruptions. You just bump the margins in, the left and right margins in, and you export to PDF, you upload right to Amazon, and boom, you're set. And yeah, I mean, if you want to, if anyone has any comments, leave them down below about their own experiences writing. If you want me to make another video about this, I'm just going topic to topic every night, but experimenting, learning as I go and everything. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.